What's going on, YouTube? WWF Hasbro Man here again, back with another DFS video, and this week we're talking trucks. It is the March 5th Friday night race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But before we get started, please give the video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel for weekly NASCAR DFS content. Alright, so the race is March 5th, this Friday, at 9 p.m., and it is broadcasted on FS1 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 1.5-mile intermediate track. Before we get started with the drivers, just want to recap the past 5 races here. Just kind of want to highlight the cautions. Now keep in mind there's always 2 built-in cautions to begin with for stage breaks. So you're looking about 4 cautions here on average. And then the important thing that we really want to look at and analyze here is the lead laps. So the driver that's led the most laps has an average of 87 laps led. The driver who leads the second most is 26, and the driver that leads the third most is 8.6. So there's 134 laps total. So you're looking at over 2/3 of the race. There's a good chance will be dominated by one driver. So that's things to definitely keep in mind with roster construction, as far as looking at a dominator. This isn't a super speedway, so you're not playing people in the back and just, looking for that place differential or anything like that. This is definitely dominators. You want to get 1 or 2 dominators into your lineups. So I want to just kind of look through the bonus points total are 93.8. And over here on the left, you can see, I definitely built in the most for Kyle Busch. As we go through the breakdown, I'll kind of go into detail a little bit more as to why I did so. But again, just going back, the dominator is going to be very important to make sure you get that dominator into your lineups. All right, so our first driver we're going to talk about is Kyle Busch. You can see here the statistics. He's starting 29th. I'm going to project him for a win. I mean, he's won his last 3 races here. He's pretty much dominated, leading 108, 110, and 55 laps. I'm going to peg him for about 60 bonus points. Great place differential play as well. I could easily see him scoring in the low hundreds. I project him at about 133 points. I do think that he will not lead stage 1 at all, but I think by the time stage 2 starts, I think he can be up front and lead the rest of the race. So that's kind of my projections here. And I think it's going to be very important on what you think is going to happen in the race, on how you build your lineups. I mean, if, for example, you don't think he can get up front, well, then at a $15,000 salary, he's not worth paying for. But based on statistics here, Vegas has him at a minus 118 favorite against a field of 39 drivers. You got about $118 just to win 100. That doesn't happen too often. Usually only when Kyle Busch is racing trucks in Xfinity do odds like that happen for a NASCAR race. And another reason I like him this week too is the value is there, which we're going to touch on. Some of these lower guys down here, I'll actually start maybe at Tanner Gray and moving down. And again, we're going to touch on them later in the video. But I feel as though the value is there this week to pay for Kyle Busch. So the first driver I'm going with will be Kyle Busch. So our next driver up top probably is not going to be who I'm playing, possibly, but I do want to make the case also for Austin Hill. I think he's also a great play. If you don't think Kyle Busch can win the race, maybe you think Austin Hill will. In his last 3 races, he has 2 wins and a 3rd place finish. Now, the 2 wins were both times when Kyle Busch didn't win this race, and the 3rd place was when Kyle Busch was running this race. So you can see he led 39 and 29 laps the 2 times in which he won, which were also the 2 times Kyle Busch was not in this race. And then the only time he ran this race when Kyle Busch was also in this race, he finished with 0 laps led. Vegas currently has him as the third overall pick to win this race, plus 1,100, which I actually think are pretty good betting odds. Hey, you throw $5 on that, you can cash out a $60 ticket. That's not terrible for Austin Hill to win this race. But he's going to be my second play. Roster construction, with the value here, I think he's easy to fit in. I think it's close to get him and Kyle in. At this point in my cash lineup, I will not be playing Austin Hill, but I will definitely have GPP exposure to Austin Hill. All right, and next driver I want to talk about is Sheldon Creed. So Sheldon Creed starting second, up on the front row with Ben Rhodes. I personally think Sheldon Creed is going to be the dominator for stage one. I think he can get ahead of Ben Rhodes. So I pegged him here for 18 bonus points, which is mostly all the ones in stage one. After Kyle Busch, over the last 4 races, Sheldon Creed actually has the most laps led here. I see Sheldon Creed getting out front early. And then stage 2 is going to be interesting because by that time I fully expect Kyle Busch and possibly Austin Hill to also be up front. So it's going to be a matter of, Sheldon Creed grabbing those early dominator points for you, and then Sheldon Creed kind of holding on. I peg him for about a top 3 finish, which would be a great return on that salary. And Vegas actually has him at plus 550, which puts him at the second best odds to win this race. He has 4 top 10s in his last 4 starts at this track, 2 of those being top 5s, and then 4 top 10s overall, of course. So Sheldon Creed is probably going to be the next cash guy that I'm going to try to fit in with Kyle Busch. And then after that, I'm going to be looking at the value towards the bottom. All right, and my next pick here is going to be Tanner Gray. He is the reigning Truck Series Rookie of the Year. Starting 22nd, I think he has some good built-in place differential, and I think he can compete right outside that top 10 all day. I'm going to peg him for about a 13th place finish. That's about where his average finish was last year of all the tracks combined, if you take out his DNFs. Last year he had the 4th best average finish at Las Vegas in 2 races, and that was the first time that he was really at this track. So for me, I'm gonna go Tanner Gray. I think he can save you some salary, and I don't think you're gonna sacrifice either. And he's a good value return on your money. All right, and the last driver that I want to highlight is going to be Ryan Truax, starting 24th. He's raced at this track twice in the Truck Series, finishing 12th both times. He's in good equipment in Nice Motorsports. I'm going to peg him to be kind of in that mid-range of the teens. I'm going to give him a 14th place finish with some good place differential. As far as my projections go, he is one of the best value plays towards the bottom as far as point per dollars is. And again, as I said before, you're going to need these cheaper drivers to try to get into at least 2 of the guys from the top. So for that, Ryan Truax is going to be part of my cash core. So I'll definitely be playing Ryan Truax. All right, and the last thing that I just want to touch on is roster construction, and I think you need to really make a decision. Do you think Kyle Busch gets out front and dominates, or do you not think Kyle Busch gets out and dominates? If you do think Kyle Busch is going to get out front and dominate, you're going to be playing a guy like Kyle Busch at 15,000, and I particularly think he can get out front after stage 2 and dominate. So if I play a guy like Kyle Busch, I pair him with Sheldon Creed. I fit in some of my value guys, my Tanner Gray, my Ryan Truax. Those 4 drivers, that's going to be $38,100 in salary. Maybe if I take a shot on the newcomer, Brett Holmes, who has a really good ARCA history, takes me to $43,900. And then I could fit in yet a Corey Roper or a Spencer Boyd. I would have enough salary if I was to go with Spencer Boyd, let's say. That's going to put me exactly at $50,000. So that's one way you can, go for roster construction. And then I think the other case, if you don't think Kyle Busch pays off that price tag, um, you know, maybe you want to go with some of these strong place differential plays. And you can look at a Austin Hill, a Zane Smith. I think it's gonna be close, but you could probably fit in a Parker Klingerman too, which would be 31,700, and then you're looking about a little over 6,000 a driver. So again, maybe you do want to go to Tanner Gray, and maybe you do want to go to Ryan Truex. That leaves you about 5,000. Jesse Wuji at starting basically dead last, just about. Has a pretty safe floor. He can move up, get to 32nd. That really allows you to jam in all those top plays, and that takes you to a salary of 49,500. So, different ways to go here. But I do think this week there's some really good value that I like, which helps you pay up for the top end drivers. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Please, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Your support means a lot. Any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Love to hear from everyone. And, subscribe to the channel for more weekly NASCAR DFS content.